Good news about inflation in Indonesia, and Indonesia to focus on health service improvement over COVID-19 handling. Stay tuned for details. Selamat siang. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is December 4th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. What is the weather like today in Singaraja? Well, it is 30.8 degrees Celsius and humidity 70%, wind speed 14.7 kilometers per hour. It is overcast, a lot of clouds, but very bright. And so not too bad a day, not too bad at all. No rain so far, and let's hope we don't have any for the rest of the day. Just start off with no news yet about the retirement visa and the second home visa. Still silence, but tomorrow is Monday. Let's hope that there's going to be something coming out from the government. On social media, there was a campaign started by an Indonesian woman who said, we could write some letters to Jakarta Post and to something else, Expat News or something, and about the situation. And people did, and so there may be a story coming out in the Jakarta Post about this soon. We'll have to see. But yeah, it's getting close. 20 days until second home visa is supposed to start. And so I don't know. As I've said before, I will keep you informed. As soon as something comes out, I will have complete details, or as much as possible, right here. Let's take a look at COVID cases. National new cases down to 3,655. That is good news. National recoveries, 5,228. National deaths down to 32. Bali new cases, 56. Okay, not too bad. Around 50, but I'd like to see that get down to 0. And no data on testing rates this week. We'll see about next Thursday. And this is Sunday, and I'm posting this a day early because tomorrow I have another appointment about my eye, and hopefully we will be moving on with this and getting on to the other eye. Okay, so let's get started talking about inflation in Indonesia. Inflation eases in November, but Jokowi calls for vigilance. The Consumer Price Index, a broad basket of goods and service prices, rose 5.2% from the same month a year ago, a slower pace than in October when it rose 5.71%. This is according to the Central Statistics Agency, BPJS, often talk about their figures. And this was below the market consensus that it would be 5.5%. Core consumer prices, which exclude volatile food and government-administered prices, rose by 3.3% last month. On a monthly basis, consumer prices picked up 0.09% over the past month, rebounding from 0.11% in October and beating expectations of 0.16%. Nevertheless, Pak Jokowi reminded regional governments to remain vigilant in reining in inflation in their respective regions in order to shield Indonesia as much as possible from the fallout of global economic uncertainty. Regions around Indonesia today are still grappling with the impact of the fuel price increase in September, which led to rising costs in logistics and transportation. According to Sandiaga, the deputy head of goods and services at BPJS, for example, in Tanjung Selor in North Kalimantan, highest inflation rate in Indonesia in the 90 cities that were surveyed. Rate was 9.2% last month. Wow. And according to Pak Setianto, high airfare was the main culprit for the big increase in inflation. Good news is price increases for several goods and services have eased in November, and that is food prices have started to come down, and they were 27.6% of last month's inflation, and they were down to 5.87% in November compared to 6.76% in October. So that is nice. And prices are rising slowly in transport, housing, furnishings, and dining out. However, in education and clothing, prices are rising more rapidly. So overall, good news. Inflation is slowing down. Let's hope that it continues to slow down here. Indonesia so far has managed to avoid being drastically hit by price increases. Things are getting more expensive, but slower than many places in the world. And so we can be thankful about that. Indonesia switches priority from COVID-19 handling to health service improvement. Indonesia's health minister, Pak Budi, said that the health ministry will allocate a sufficient budget for revitalization of health facilities and promotive and preventive programs. So looks like the government is getting ready to move on from the focus on COVID. Pak Budi said one of our priorities is maintaining healthy people. The second focus, he said, is to restructure hospitals throughout the archipelago in order to improve public health services, especially for deadly diseases with high costs, such as heart disease, stroke, and cancer. The third focus will be on building the health industry, which will be collaborated with the industry ministry. The fourth focus will be on development of human resources. In this regard, the Health Ministry will be working closely with Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology and the Religious Affairs Ministry to ensure that there are sufficient specialist doctors, definitely needed in Indonesia. The minister said there will be budget allocation either directly through the ministry or LPDP to provide scholarship for health workers. And the fifth focus will be to improve health financing system. After 2 years of COVID-19 pandemic and during the current recovery, people have started to check their health status for other diseases. And he concluded, we've also started to prioritize future health programs based on biotechnology, information technology, and artificial intelligence. So there have been a number of segments recently on changes in the healthcare system, and that is good news. It's important for Indonesians to develop their health industry, as I was talking about in the last video. We're down there in terms of life expectancy in Southeast Asia. We're down below a lot of countries. And if we add in China and Korea and Japan, Taiwan, wow, we're way down in Asia. So good news to see that the government is going to focus on developing a healthy population. And some more health news. Minister of Health affirms BPJS for all people. So the health minister has been in the news a lot recently. Pak Budi stressed that BPJS is for everybody from all walks of life, not only for the poor. He said protection is given regardless of existing economic and social conditions. Because, he said, BPJS is a social insurance that covers health insurance for the people of Indonesia. So if you say it's only for the poor, you're wrong. He said, rich, poor, young, old, any ethnicity, Aceh, Papua, all religions, regardless of religions, are covered. And that's why it's called National Health Insurance. However, Pak Budi said it's been suspected that rich people are burdening BPJS with their high medical expenses. To prove this suspicion, he's going to check the data of 1,000 people whose BPJS Kesehatan health care bills are the highest. He said he's prioritizing vigilance so that BPJS will not experience a deficit again. He explained that insurance failures are generally due to promises that are bigger than companies' ability. And he mentioned insurance companies such as Jiwasraya and Bumiputra. And he said BPJS is not going to make promises that it cannot afford. The minister said, the president said, enough of deficits for BPJS. It has been running on deficits for the last several years, and it needs to stop. Pak Budi said, one way that it can be done is to provide equal service to all policyholders by making one class. Right now, there's 3. In addition, the class facilities chosen must be adjusted to the premium paid. So if they make one class, how is that going to save them money? I'm not sure. We're in the highest tier right now, the highest class in BPJS, and I'm not sure exactly how that works. It certainly has not helped me in terms of waiting time for my cataract surgery, but so far I haven't paid anything, and so that's good. Pak Budi said, we have to really calculate whether the guarantee provided by BPJS whether the promise given by BPJS is sufficient for the premium. If BPJS does not do enough, what should be done? Because I feel sorry for the policyholders. Okay, so going to keep following up on this and see what's going to happen. Is BPJS going to get away with the 3-tier system that it has right now and go with a 1-tier system, 1 class, and everybody gets the same thing? I don't know. We'll see. And electronic vehicles, I haven't talked about them lately, but they were in the news big time for the G20 summit. Sri Mulyani says subsidy for electric vehicles under discussion. The finance minister said that no policy has been made yet regarding the subsidy, but that it is being discussed. And just the other day, Pak Luhut was in the news for saying that the subsidy for purchase of electric motorbikes could be as high as 6.5 million rupiah per unit. Now, I would consider buying one if I got a subsidy of 6.5 million. My wife needs a new bike. Pak Luhut said we are finalizing the policy and subsidy for electric motorbikes. Maybe it's 6 million. In Thailand, the subsidy is about 7 million. So maybe it will be 6.5 million here. Pak Luhut expressed optimism that the subsidy could attract people's interest in switching to battery-powered cars and motorcycles. And in addition, consumption of fossil fuel will be reduced, less pollution. Pak Luhut said, we've calculated that it will be more profitable to use electric motorbikes than fossil fuel motorbikes and cars. And so I'm going to take Sri Mulyani here, the finance minister. She said nothing's been decided yet. But it's a possibility for the new year. And so that would be cool. And that would probably put a spike in people buying electric motorbikes and cars if there was a subsidy. And what about the cameras that are going to catch offenders and this new electronic ticketing system? Well, Bali police plan to collaborate with Bali immigration, attention foreign traffic offenders through ETLE. And so I talked about this when we were talking about the electronic ticketing system. What's going to happen if you rent a bike and, well, you don't want to pay the ticket, you just return the bike, you don't say anything, and you get on the plane and you go home, and the guy who owns the bike, he's stuck with the ticket. Well, this segment addresses it. The head of public relations for the Bali police said that the police would cooperate with immigration to take action against foreigners who are caught on ETLE cameras as traffic violators. Later, the data contained in the Bali Police Immigration Office will be linked to data on traffic offenders recorded by ETLE. So there's going to be a link between the police and immigration so that they're going to be able to keep foreigners who violate the rules from not paying. He said right now we don't have a direct link, but they're going to develop one. And if the violator is a foreigner, there needs to be communication at this point between the two agencies to keep the foreigners from getting away. He said the plan is that there will be a link, but right now he's asking vehicle rental owners to monitor the status of their vehicles. If the rental vehicle is recorded on an ETLE camera, the rental owner can convey to the foreigner or foreign nationals to take care of the electronic ticket administration cost. Even though for the time being, the leaser of the vehicle, whether it's two-wheel vehicle or four-wheel vehicle, so every foreigner returns his rented motorbike, it's mandatory to check whether the person in question has a violation or not. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. If there is, and it can be proven at ETLE, submit it so that they have to pay the fine first. So I'm thinking, I don't know, it doesn't exactly say that this is here, but I'm thinking, okay, if you get a ticket, maybe you can check somehow online. Go to a database, put the license number, and see if there's a ticket when they return the vehicle. That would seem to be an efficient way to do it. The police spokesperson said if later there's no confirmation regarding the electronic ticket, it will automatically become the responsibility of the rental owner to take care of it. So they're going to put the onus on the owner. He's going to need to keep track of what's going on here. Asked about the certainty of cooperation with immigration, the head of public relations for the Bali Police said he will coordinate with related parties to ensure whether the data could be be linked. Caucasians or foreign nationals will also have their departure outside of Bali postponed if they have not taken care of electronic ticketing. Perhaps this will be coordinated in advance, whether the data at immigration can be linked so that you can find out if these foreigners can be ETLE so they don't leave first. And so the plan is to do this. It does not sound like they are ready yet at this point. So if you are renting a bike from somebody, the best thing is to be honest about this. If you get a ticket, pay it. And if you are renting bikes out, you're going to need to take responsibility at this point and make sure that there is no outstanding tickets when the people who lease your bike return it. In the future, maybe this will work seamlessly. Who knows? This is Indonesia. You just have to wait and see. And one more segment on traffic and the ETLE. 1 week, ETLE fined 119 violators. So the Bali police have conducted an analysis and evaluation of the first week of Operation Zebra Agung 2022, and the electronic traffic law enforcement ETLE system managed to record 119 violations and 11,808 warnings. During last year's Operation Zebra, everything was manual. This year, they are implementing the electronic ticketing system. And ETLE is a law enforcement system in the field of traffic based on information technology using electronic devices in the form of camera that can detect traffic violations and motorized vehicle data automatically. So it is working, and you better watch out. I understand from a post I read on social media, a guy said he got busted and they're getting people without seatbelts, without helmets, smoking cigarettes while they're driving. So better watch out. Santa is watching. The highest number of accidents has come up, occurred in the jurisdictions of Bulalang, Gianyar, and Tabanan. There were 7 traffic accidents in Bulalang. And in those, 2 people died and 11 were slightly injured. In Gianyar, there were 8 cases, 12 people slightly injured, and in Tabanan, 11 cases, 1 death, 14 people slightly injured. In the first week of 2022, Great Zebra Ops, the number of cases, 41, and last year, 33. So more accidents this year than last year. Why? Who knows? Of the 41 accidents, 26 in those 3 regencies that I mentioned, and they have more than half the accidents. So if you are living in Bulalang, better watch out. We've got more accidents than anywhere else. And in general, Operation Zebra Agung has been going well, according to police spokesperson, even though there's been an increase in the number of accidental incidents. It's hoped, he said, that the community will be more disciplined in traffic so they can reduce the number of violations and accidents. Let's hope so. What about foreign tourist numbers? Haven't talked about that recently. Foreign tourist visits to Indonesia rise by 361.31%, mostly from Malaysia, BPS. BPS is the Statistics Bureau in Indonesia. On a monthly basis, foreign tourist visits were recorded to have increased by 4.57% compared to September and 648,900. The number of foreign tourist visits has continued to increase since January 2022, said BPS Deputy for Distribution and Services Statistics. Based on nationality, highest number of foreign tourists coming to Indonesia came from Malaysia, with 106,100 visits. After Malaysia, Australia, then Singapore, Timor-Leste, India, UK, and the US. Where's Russia? And more on tourist numbers. Total tourists to Bali, 1,491,073 Australian tourist champion. We are the champions. The number of foreign tourists visiting Bali from January to October was 1,491,073. And in October, there were 305,244 people coming directly into Bali, according to BPS. That was an increase of 4.84% compared to the previous month, so compared to September. Of these, Australian tourists dominated with a share of 28.18%. Way to go, Aussies. Followed by Indians, British, US, and Russians in 10th place with a share of 3.09%. And you know, in the previous article, I said, where are the Russians? That was the overall Indonesian numbers. These are the Bali numbers. Not only in October, the dominance of Australian tourists also lasted for 10 months from January to October. So the leaders in Bali, according to this article, and you know, numbers are thrown around here about tourism and everything else in Indonesia, frequently and often contradictory. So we'll take what we can and go with the general zeitgeist. And this general zeitgeist is predominantly Australians. They're the big movers right now, and they have been all year. And, well, they usually are even before the pandemic. Total number of Australians over the last 10 months, 438,477. Indians, 119,978. And UK, 95,988. Total occupancy rate for star hotels in October 2020 was 46.28%, down 0.17% from September. Compared to October year on year, October 21, it was 17.73%. So there's an increase this year of 28.55%. So good news. And it is December, and I was watching some videos from Bobo and the monkeys, and wow, some places like Canggu, packed to the gills. And Bule Behaving Badly, I thought that I've seen just about everything here. I've been doing Bule Behaving Badly for a long time. A lot of weird stuff here, some bad stuff, like last video, stealing motorbikes, some crazy stuff like painting your face like a mask back in the COVID pandemic, height of the COVID pandemic days, taking naked photos with sacred trees, having sex in sacred places. This one is pretty bizarre. Disgusting Caucasians in Bali licking girlfriends' feet in public places. Niluh Djelantik pokes Sandiaga Uno. So what happened here? All right, so there's a woman and a guy, maybe her boyfriend, I guess. I'm assuming it's her boyfriend. And apparently they are Russian, according to this article. And so she has her leg raised on a table in the initial video, and he starts off licking her feet, and they're in a restaurant or a cafe, licking her feet and sucking on her toes. And in the meantime, she's saying some stuff in Russian and then in English. The video has been pulled, but you can find it online if you really want to watch this stuff. If you want to do foot fetish, no problem. But in a restaurant or a cafe, and in the video, there's some people back watching this, and I don't know, it's hard to tell exactly what they're feeling. They look pretty uncomfortable. So this video has been shared with Niluh Djelantik, and I've talked about her many times. She, former politician, businesswoman, social activist. She likes to come down on foreigners who are misbehaving here and report them to immigration, the police, the governor, whoever. And, well, she is pretty upset about this one. It is weird when you watch it. I mean, it's just, who does this kind of stuff in a restaurant? The caption of the video said, POV, goddess worshiping with my spiritual boy. Point of view, goddess worship with my spiritual partner, reads the caption on the video. The article here says, no doubt Niluh Djelantik's head boiled when she saw the video, just like other netizens. She stressed that the Caucasians in the video show very disturbing behavior, and she asked Pak Sandiaga Uno to follow up on this, because she said, you want quality tourists here? Is this what you want? Is this the quality tourist you want here? She wrote, and you can find this on her Instagram page, easy to find it. And I'll leave a link below if you want to go and take a look there. Love it or hate it, she is very active with this stuff. I know some foreigners really dislike her, and others think that she's great. She says, Bali doesn't need waste tourists. Mr. Minister, are you sure you can give second home visa to this one? Are you sure the visa they have now can be used for work? Because this woman who did the video, not the guy, but the woman, said instead of apologizing when she got all this negative feedback, she made several other videos and not apologizing, but saying, look, you people are afraid. You're haters, but I don't hate you. I love you. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a life coach. I will help you get through your fear over this. This is a natural expression of sexuality and joy, and all you have to do is come with me and you take my classes. So I don't know, is this an ad for her classes? If it is, boy, it would not put me off. I show up at a restaurant and go, yeah, I'd like some scrambled eggs, some bacon, some toast, and give me a side of foot fetish, please. In addition to calling out Sandiaga Uno, she also asked the Directorate General of Immigration and the Nurai Immigration Office to check the visa permits of the two foreigners in the video because it appears that they are working here, or at least the young lady is. And up to this point, this is Saturday when I'm doing this because, right, I'm going to load the video tomorrow because I've got the doctor's appointment on Monday. There has been no response from either Sandiaga Uno or Immigration on her uploading of the video and asking them to deal with this situation. There is a lot of negative comment, both from Indonesians and foreigners about this. Indonesians completely outraged. This does, appears to me, violate the ETLE law in pornography. They could get these two for a number of different things. So I don't know. It's hard to have something. What do you say about this? I mean, you really have to see this video to see just how bizarre this is. And you can find it. It's in a couple of places. If you look at Facebook forum for Bali Blacklist, you will find the video posted there. And if you go to Niluh Djelantik's Instagram page, and you can find the video there as well. It is just, I don't know, it boggles me what people will do for social media to get likes, to get hits, to promote their businesses. Wow. This is definitely a Bule Behaving Badly #1. That is it for today. I am still waiting, like everybody else, to see what is going on with the retirement visa. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I know, tough if you are on a retirement visa, but hang in there. I don't imagine they're going to be kicking people out right away. And thanks for comments and thumbs up and subscriptions. I always appreciate all of that. There is a lot of work that goes into this, although I do love doing it. Thanks for viewing. Be kind to someone today. Stay safe. Have a great Monday and a great week, and I hope the weather is good wherever you are. See you on Thursday.